If someone had told Agma that jealousy could make girls dig a hole just to bury her, she would have laughed. But looking back, she realized envy wears the softest smile and speaks in the sweetest tone before it strikes. In her small village, they called her Beauty, the beauty of the gods. She never asked for the name or the attention that came with it. From the moment she was old enough to fetch water, the world noticed her before she even noticed herself. She was the only child of humble farmers, living in a tiny hut surrounded by cassava and yam ridges. Her mother's laughter could make any bad day feel lighter, while her father was a hard-working man who believed silence solved everything. Life wasn't perfect, but it was peaceful until other people's opinions started shaping her reality. The trouble began slowly. Whenever she walked past the village square, some girls would giggle and whisper. At first, she thought it was harmless. But one afternoon at the stream, she heard one of them hiss, "See how she walks." Like she owns the whole village just because her face is fine. She turned to see them, Anna, Olivia, and Bant, a trio that always moved like a pack. Their eyes held a mix of amusement and venom. She smiled awkwardly, hoping kindness would make things better, but it only made them worse. From that day on, she became their favorite topic. It was normal to hear things like, "Beauty isn't an achievement," or "Do you think the prince will marry you just because your skin shines?" She'd go home pretending not to care, but tears would fall the moment she closed her door. Her mother always noticed. "My daughter," she would say, brushing her hair gently, "even sweet honey attracts jealous flies. Don't dim your light because others can't handle it." Her words were a comfort, but they didn't stop the pain. Being beautiful in a small village felt more like a curse. The teasing got so bad that the girls started calling her names like Snake Girl and Spirit Child, whispering that her beauty wasn't natural. Soon, even other villagers began to avoid her. Her mother was furious when she heard the rumors. "They will not destroy my child's name out of jealousy," she declared. But her quiet father simply said, "Let them talk." It's hard to ignore gossip when even children at the stream laugh behind your back. Eventually, her mother stopped sending her to the market, and Agma stayed home, lonely, watching the other girls laugh and sing as they walked past her compound. She longed for that sense of friendship and belonging. Then, everything changed. The town crier announced that the prince was ready to choose a wife. A grand dance would be held at the palace, and every unmarried girl was invited. The village buzzed with excitement. Agma didn't plan to go, knowing only mockery awaited her. But her mother insisted. "You will go," she said firmly. "Don't let fear cage your destiny." So Agma quietly prepared, finding a beautiful wrapper in her mother's box and a cowrie necklace. "You look like a queen," her mother said, smiling with pride. But while Agma was dreaming of a beautiful night, the three girls were plotting her downfall. "If she shows up, the prince will choose her instantly," Olivia said. "Then we make sure she doesn't come," Anna declared. Their plan began with a facade of friendship. They visited Agma's house, carrying roasted groundnuts as a peace offering, apologizing for how they had treated her. Her mother was skeptical. "Be careful," she warned her. "Snakes don't change, they just shed their skin." But Agma, tired of loneliness, wanted to believe people could change. The girls visited every day, braiding her hair, complimenting her dance moves, and slowly earning her trust. One afternoon, she showed them the outfit she planned to wear to the dance. "You look like a goddess," Bant said, with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. She didn't notice the look of a wolf admiring its prey. Later, they gathered outside, whispering. They decided to dig a pit in the bush, lure her there on the day of the ceremony, and push her in, ruining her chances. For days, their hatred for Agma fueled their determination as they dug the deep pit. On the morning of the dance, Agma's mother woke her early. "I had a strange dream," she whispered, hugging her tightly. "Don't follow them anywhere. Go to the palace alone." Agma promised to be careful. A few hours later, the girls arrived, dressed in bright colors. "Let's take a shortcut through the bush," Olivia called. "We don't want anyone seeing our clothes before we reach the palace." Agma hesitated, remembering her mother's warning. But Anna rolled her eyes. "We're friends now, aren't we?" Her heart said no, but her mind wanted to believe they had changed. They walked together, laughing and talking. For the first time in months, Agma felt genuinely happy, but as they went deeper into the bush, the laughter died. The path grew narrow and quiet. Her chest tightened. Before she could ask why, Anna pointed. "This way, the path is smoother." When she stepped forward, the ground gave way. She screamed as she fell into the deep pit, her leg hitting something hard. Pain shot through her body. Dazed and covered in dirt, she looked up. The three girls stood at the edge, staring down with cruel smiles. "Look at you now, beauty," Anna sneered. "You want to dance. Dance in there." They burst into laughter. "Please, help me," Agma begged, her voice shaking. "Why are you doing this?" Olivia sneered back. "Let's see if the prince will still want you now." With that, they turned and walked away. Agma screamed until her voice cracked, clawing at the walls of the pit, but it was too deep. As darkness fell, it hit her. She was trapped, and no one was coming to save her. At the palace, Agma's mother waited anxiously. Her daughter never arrived. She asked the other girls, but they feigned ignorance, dancing and celebrating. Filled with worry, she and her husband rushed home, but Agma wasn't there. Meanwhile, the prince watched the maidens dance, but felt no connection. He turned to his father, the king, and said, "I have not found my bride." The music stopped. The jealous girls trembled with rage. Agma's parents returned to the palace and reported their daughter missing. The king summoned Anna, Olivia, and Bant, but they denied knowing anything. The next morning, a royal hunter named Dinta ventured into the bush. He heard a faint cry for help. Following the voice, he discovered the deep pit and found Agma, weak and exhausted. He pulled her out with a rope and, instead of taking her home, he took her straight to the palace. When her parents saw her, they were stunned. Agma told the king everything. Furious, the king summoned everyone to the palace. He asked the three girls if they knew Agma. They denied being her friend. Seeing the king's anger, one of them broke down. "We were jealous," she whispered, confessing everything. They begged for forgiveness, but it was too late. The king ordered his guards, "Lock them up for a long time. When they are released, no one in this village is to speak to them, sell to them, or buy from them." As the guards led the sobbing girls away, the prince stepped forward. "I have found my wife," he announced, walking over to Agma. He lifted her to her feet, brushed the dirt from her dress, and gave her a warm hug. The crowd erupted in cheers as the jealous girls hung their heads in shame. Dinta, the hunter, was greatly rewarded, and Agma's destiny was fulfilled, a testament that no amount of jealousy can ever stop what is meant to be.